here and having Meteor and Tarzan. Tarzan loving his more AP fighting junglers as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this prioritized.
See what LGD are gonna opt in for. I mean, the Ezreal would be up too. I feel like that has been the default prioritization. However, Ashe is Light's most played AD carry of this split, so maybe thinking that Ashe is not only a good pick for Xiaoye, also a takeaway from Light as well. Over to the side of Weibo though, we mentioned that Ezreal already. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that locked in. Things like the K'Sante, if you do just want to go for a blind pick, the Renekton is banned away on the other side, so it should be fairly safe to go for that in the top side.
Yeah, and Tristana again, you saw it in the little paper. I was about to say, so it did get a little bit nerfed, and it hasn't been prioritized at all throughout all the series we've watched. But Xiaohu is a guy that knows the importance of side lane and having pressure, and this champion, whether the mana has been nerfed on a bunch of her abilities or not, still has a ton of that mid lane and side lane pressure rate later on.
It certainly does. Tristana, I mean, she always rears her head, doesn't she? She always fights her way into the meta. It's one of those picks that just so good at scaling, so good early on in the game. Will be the Nautilus locked in for JinJiao down in that bottom side. Just want to quickly mention before we get into the next round of bans as well that it is going to be Shaoye playing once again. Kepler subbed back out. Had a couple of series for himself against FPX, against top esports. Not easy opponents to have to go up against. But Xiaoye will step back into the main roster as the Kennen is banned away from Breathe.
Well, let's see what the top side is going to bring here, because we have our bot lanes and mids pretty much locked. And we're looking at things potentially to stabilize the board. When you've got Ashe, when you've got Corki, things like the K'Sante start springing up in terms of priority. You definitely want a big rock in front of your team. Sometimes quite literally, Malphite is also a pretty good choice when you have a lot of mobile targets. However, Ezreal, Tristana, both very, very slippery. So that wouldn't be the case. But I'm looking for an R4 K'Sante for Burdol right here.
Certainly very safe. You could go for something like a Twisted Fate ban maybe, if you do want to go, or yeah, nah, even if you do want to go for the K'Sante. I wonder if Weibo just allow the K'Sante through here, or you could actually ban the K'Sante if you really don't want to go up against it. It's not, I don't think it's that oppressive right now that you want to ban K'Sante though, to be honest.
Here's the deal. Burdol has played a lot of Poppy in the top lane as well, and he does do pretty well versus champions that like to be jumping around, such as everything that Weibo Gaming have already locked in, particularly the Leona, because it's one of the main primary engages for Weibo Gaming. You can stop that E from going into your backline. You could potentially be the savior. Now, of course, Poppy does also really well into things like the K'Sante if Weibo want to go for a tank towards the top of the map. We'll see whether it's going to be a blind K'Sante or maybe a reply later on.
It could be just the jungle lock-in here, as you say, allowing for that counter pick in the top side. You mentioned the Poppy. We'll keep our eyes open for if that is going to come on through. Doesn't mean Breathe could go for the K'Sante as his own blind pick. The Renekton that he has been leaning on very heavily recently, take it off the board. And the Rumble, it was nerfed. It's going to be locked in. I mean, Breathe so far this split has a 0% win rate across 3 Rumble games. It's one of the only players in the league that's managed to make Rumble not look that good. But locks it in once again for Weibo, and the K'Sante ends up coming through from Burdol. So we'll see if the changes were enough to remove Rumble from the meta properly.
Yeah, honestly, very interested to see how this Rumble is gonna fare up against K'Sante, one of the stronger tanks and neutralizers that we have up in the top lane, especially since the teams have not even touched Rumble today. It's not been banned, it's not been picked, it's not been prioritized at all. It's been completely and utterly forgotten. Here, it does match Weibo Gaming's composition, especially since the Kennen got taken out, and they do need a little bit of that AP damage to come through. And this is not necessarily coming through the jungle as Tarzan. It's gonna be piloting the Sejuani in the jungle, facilitating for his team. He had to come from somewhere else, and that somewhere else was that Rumble on the top of the map.
So, let's see what on earth goes on here. Weibo, a team famous for their ability to play to their opponents. No matter how good or how bad their opponents are, Weibo are able to match them. LGD, a team of underdogs in Group Ascend. They managed to make the miracle run to qualify for this upper group. Now they need to make a miracle happen once more. They are against the ropes, and if they lose this series, they will not be able to qualify directly to playoffs. They'll have to go through that extra round of best of fives to try and make it against a team from Group Nirvana. Let's see if LGD have it in them to bring it up to Weibo. And let's see if Weibo can actually look like a top team when they're not against another top team. Can they actually punch down against a team that they should be, by all accounts, a heavy, heavy favorite into? It's all going to be down to it when we get onto the rift here between Weibo Gaming and LGD for game number 1.
Two and 0. Ooh, for who? For LGD. Okay.
That's
all
the
right.
faithful
Well, you know
in the audience right there.
You know what? That's exactly what they need, though. We were talking about how LGD, in their entire group stage, have only won 1 game against FPX. They have played 5 teams so far. They've only won, in all of these series, just 1 singular game. Arguably, they should have taken that FPX series and gotten their first series win. But they just couldn't capitalize on that game 2 lead that they built for themselves. And right now, this is all or nothing. LGD are only allowed to lose a singular game and have to win all of their series, whilst FPX has to lose every single one of them.
Yeah, they are. For anyone that doesn't know right now, LGD currently in 8th in the standing. They are 0-5. They are 1-10 in games, which means they have a -9 game difference. FPX, the only other team that are undecided in Group Ascend, they are 3-2. They are 7-6. They have a +1 game difference. Now, FPX still have 3 series to play, so if they lose every single game in their remaining 3 series, their game difference will go down to -5. And game difference is the biggest differentiator here in the LPL. Another differentiator is laning prowess. Xiaoye taken down in a 2v2. JinJiao might not be long for the rift here. Aftershock will keep him alive. Weibo make a statement and enter the rift in style.
Crisp with a fantastic engage. The EQ connects and instantly Light springs forward to follow up. And you mentioned how good that bot lane was versus BLG, versus the big dogs of the league, versus one of the best bot lanes in the league. And right here, look at that, what we were talking about in the previous series. You E forward as the level 2 hits. Beautiful connect right there to Shaoye. Flash from Light as well to get away from the anchor to finish the job. Incredible stuff from that bot lane. 1-0 into this Ezreal. The tier purchased an extra longsword. This Ezreal's gonna start poking like a truck.
Great bit of 2v.
Poke?
Yeah, if you sellotape a big stick to it, you probably could. There's Tarzan on the bottom side now. He might look for a lane gank. Oh god, he's gonna look for a lane gank. This is going to go from bad to worse for LGD. Tarzan is going to sneak as far into this lane as he can reasonably get away with. And he's into the middle brush. Now, Meteor is in the area. This could get a little dicey, and perhaps LGD know what's going on, but JinJiao's got in face first. Walks into 3 people. Oh, he didn't know. He didn't know. He thought he was finding a fight. He found a fight, that's for sure, but not the one he wanted. Double kill for Crisp as Tarzan's plan works out beautifully.
He sets it up. He takes the kills. He doesn't look at the explosion, walks away, forgets to elaborate, doesn't care. 3 kill participation in 4 minutes, and he's not done. He's going mid lane.
Haichao did see Crisp on the ward, drops a broccoli ammo to let him know.
He's laughing. He's doing this and he's laughing. He's like, guys, I'm everywhere. GG's. Again, fantastic performance by Crisp so far. And great stuff from Tarzan to sneak into that bot lane brush. That wave was pushing it. Eventually, Shaoye and JinJiao would have to overextend. This is why you saw the brand moving towards the boss of the map to try and cover for them. The simultaneous hex blast right there from both the supports with the JinJiao. It's a little bit too far forward, and Tarzan was right on spot. E going to connect, and instantly the flash charge from Tarzan to solidify the kill.
Yeah. I wish we could have seen a a slow-mo replay of JinJiao's player cam there for the jump scare as he goes into the brush and suddenly Tarzan is in his face. That would have been something. Hat-trick already for Weibo. And I mean, that's across their bot lane. Both bot laners now with kills. Merctred's already finished for Crisp.
The whole team is 2,000 almost gold up. 5 minutes into the game. That is absolutely crazy. Great stuff right there from that bot lane. And we mentioned, and you highlighted them very well earlier on, we thought that it was all going to be about Tarzan when he joined this team, you know, looking for a new carry for the team after the Shy departed. And we thought Tarzan was going to be that it carry to join the team. However, he's been taking a little bit more of a back foot, and especially with performances like this from Light and Crisp, he would definitely be more than willing to facilitate for them. That's exactly what Tarzan did. Now 1,000 gold difference down the bottom of the map, and Ashe is one of those carries where if she does get ahead, she's so powerful, man. She's got the velocity through the runes as well. She'll just chase you down. You'll never be able to get away. The auto attack stick. However, when she falls behind, her bow becomes a toothpick, especially when champions just are even a level above her. It's just so difficult to put that damage down.
Does feel like one of those champions that it does not just rely on the snowball in terms of her own damage as well, but also in terms of her usefulness. Like, Ash Arrow is an unbelievable tool for extending a lead. It's limited usefulness when you can't actually fight the enemy team. Still can be a massive tool, of course, but you need to find your angles. Like you said before, 2,000 gold lead for Weibo is a nice way for them to start things off. Drake will be an easy pickup as Light. I mean, the fact that you get this big of a lead on Ezreal of all champions as well, because Ezreal has to buy tier. So when you're going even, Ezreal sort of by default gets a little bit behind in lane because he has to spend that 400 gold on the tier. The fact that you essentially get a tier and also an item advantage on Ezreal is just such a huge win for Weibo.
And then it gets so annoying with all the poke that's coming through, especially when you're starting to set up for objectives. First objective is gonna go to the side of Weibo Gaming, of course. The first dragon has gone down. And our question mark was, how strong is still that ramble towards the top of the map? Because you know what? A lot of the times you see a very small nerf or a buff or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily change much onto the champion. And sometimes when we have a nerf, a lot of the pros will overreact to the nerf, not play the champion, and then one person will bring it back, and then everyone will spring back to playing the champion again. And Breathe could potentially be that guy that shows people that, hey, Rumble is still very damn strong, guys. Keep playing it. So far, so good. Ahead in gold, has created a lead for himself towards the top side of the map. It's looking good for Breathe.
Not the biggest lead ever so far, as we're 2v2 in the river here. Ward drop just to clear that control ward. And Arrow flies towards the mid lane. In football, that would have been a goal. In League of Legends, it's called a miss.
Yep. I had a pretty good joke about England at Euros, but I won't do it. Because
you should have.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
With how obnoxious us England fans are, we deserve everything we get. And unfortunately, Meteor, I'm not sure he deserved that one, but it happened whether he likes it or not. That's a 4th kill for Weibo as they are really pushing their advantage. Now, this is what we wanted to see. Remember, we were talking about Weibo, a team that's often as good as their opponent. They should be a heavy favorite here today, but they have a history of playing to the level of whoever they're up against. We wanted to see them kind of punching down today. We wanted to see them playing at the level of a top team, and it feels like that so far.
It's just so scary, man. I feel like I will open a cupboard and Crisp will be in there, and he'll gank me as well. He is literally everywhere. He went from bot lane pressure in that play, into jungle invade, into killing Meteor, into wrapping around, into going mid lane, into zoning out enemy mid lane. Absolutely incredible stuff. This sequence started all by him allowing Ezreal to get that pressure down bot lane, then he goes mid, then he goes into the jungle. He finds Meteor all alone at this point, by the way. Flash E forward. Allows Tarzan to get that snipe through. By that time, Light had pressured the lane and joined them in the jungle, and then he turned around for that mid lane push as well. Whoa, that's a long journey.
Nice. All out from Burdol, forces the flash from Breathe. Well played there as was that? No, it was Meteor moving it. I wasn't sure if that was Haichao for a split second on the blast cone. So, all things considered, Crisp is having a pretty good game for himself, isn't he? I feel like Crisp, and like for me, in that Weibo series against BLG, sorry, yeah, in the BLG series, I guess is the better way to say that. They were two of the big players, as well as Tarzan, obviously having a really, really good game, #1 on the Nidalee too. But here, managing to repeat that performance, it's almost a 3,000 gold lead. And Weibo, remember, this is a team that they're quite happy to play slow. This is a team that's quite happy to take their time and slowly build up an advantage for themselves. They have an advantage to work with, and they will try and continue to just snowball that one. And I feel like with Weibo, we're finally seeing the team that we should be seeing. When you look at the names of this roster, it just should be a good team. There's no two ways about it, unless they all forgot how to play League of Legends. Oh no, the observers highlight that. Xiaohu, I was trying to compliment you guys. Why'd you have to miss the brush with the control one, man? But yeah, this team should be really good is what I'm trying to say. I feel like we're finally seeing that.
I feel like there was never a question in terms of their ability to play the game at a very high level, especially when you show the storied names on this roster. I feel it was down to the inability for them to be consistently good. They would show one game how good they were, and then it would be lost the next game. So I feel like once they find that consistency, then they can be put into the equation.
Oh, good buffer from Xiaohu. Crisp tries to block for his mid lane. A Pillar of Flame comes in, and Crisp is so hard to kill. The burn is there, but it's not quite enough, and Tarzan moves in with a True Shot Barrage. But Weibo is so chunked, they can't look for a return.
Oh my god, that was so masterfully handled. The way that Crisp took the initial engage to then back off to not bounce the brand ultimate onto Xiaohu, which would have most likely killed him. Such a great... Crisp is on absolute fire in this game. Now, Weibo Gaming, they only have 2 members towards that bot side. And the Dragon's been taken, TPs are being pulled. That's Haichao.
I think the TP is enough for Weibo not to try and brute force a fight here. Blight will at least get a plate on the bottom side. So it's something of a consolation prize for Weibo there. But LGD, nice bit of tempo play to grab themselves a Drake. There's now
he's in the jungle.
The Gromp in trouble. Meteor should be able to smite this one away. Crisp has moved his way around that ward. They know where the control ward is. Meteor spotted. He should have seen Crisp by now, yeah. And I think realizes it's no longer... I mean, there's no camps here for him to even go for. They're just trying to isolate him so that they can try and make a play towards bot lane, but there's no minions either, so... You know, it's cool to see Crisp finding his way through the jungle. I don't know if they can realistically do anything. True Shot Barrage cancels the recalls, but JinJiao and Shaoye can just walk past Tarzan, I think. The anchor comes out. Shaoye slowed up. Will be solar flared, will be stunned up, and will be taken down. And the flash just after he dies. You hate to see it.
Again, a reminder, when you fall behind on Ashe, your arrow becomes a toothpick. And when champions that are supposed to be tankier show up a level higher than you, you do absolutely negative amounts of damage on them. I feel like what they did right there to force Meteor to wrap around his own jungle, which delayed his path towards top, allowed time for Tarzan to stick around and make that play. Not only do they deprive them of XP, gold, etc., they also take their life, they take their summoners, most importantly. Shaoye is gonna have such a hard time walking up to any type of skirmish. And look at this great cancel right there, coming in from Light. And then Tarzan with the Sejuani and the Leona, they have more than enough damage between the two to take down Ashe.
Easily done. Even with the flash, I think the flail maybe would have finished the job anyway. Shaoye, he's going to miss that flash, that is for sure. Tarzan, great game on the Sejuani. Crisp, fantastic game on the Leona. Burdol, in the meantime, did try and flash forwards to look for an all-out opportunity. Meteor was waiting in the river, but couldn't find the Q3. Want to breathe, so that will be Burdol's flash just on cooldown for a little while. Haichao in the top lane for now, though, as Burdol's moved down to the bottom side of the map. Tarzan still continuously looking to put pressure. Shaoye sidesteps the solar flare. Oh my lord, Light is doing some damage, isn't he? My goodness, these Qs are chunking. Xiaohu on a ward, won't be able to find much. True Shot Barrage avoided. Xiaoye went to recall in the jungle to make sure he was safe. JinJiao finds a chance for a pick here. Haichao has to do the damage though, and Tarzan just jumps straight onto the opposite carry, and it's somehow a kill. Tarzan will go down for his trouble, gets a bit of extra damage out as an arrow.
The arrow?
Oh, just goes wide of Xiaohu.
And Weibo are gonna get out of that one. Tarzan gives his life away, sure, but it's only to JinJiao, the support. So it's not going to be the end of the world. My God, Weibo Gaming are playing this game so fast-paced, so aggressive. Crisp is dictating every single play. LGD backs against the wall. They cannot walk anywhere. Crisp has every side of the rift covered. Let's watch this one more time, because this is Xiaohu getting caught right here. Absolutely. You see, he sits around a little bit too long. Perfect play right here also by Haichao to pretend that he's actually resetting. Doesn't want any more. JinJiao gets the hook, but everyone else from Weibo is already roaming towards the top. And look at the commitment. The triple flash through the wall to commit to that play to shut down the Corki. Excellent stuff by Weibo Gaming.
Really nice answer. And as you say, Crisp, fully
He's
in charge. He's the main character. He's the anime protagonist of this game. And he looks like an anime protagonist in real life as well, with his blue hair. But my goodness, what a performance he's putting on. He looked fantastic against BLG as well. I'm excited. Dare I say, I'm excited for Weibo at the minute.
Oh, he hasn't been spotted?
That blue trinket must have spotted him, right? Did he go in
I
the
think
other
someone
side?
pinged him, so they must know.
The fact that the blue trinket died, though, means he must have been spotted by it, right? Because he didn't auto it. They do die when they get spotted. JinJiao stepping forwards, has to be the one to face check. A deep, deep TP coming on through. Breathe on a massive flank. There's no vision here for LGD. They have no idea that Rumble is on the way. Equalizer ready to be blasted out. Xiaoye just gets melted over the wall while JinJiao goes down on the front line as well. And Breathe is blocking the escape route. Haichao trying to go toe-to-toe with him, and the True Shot Barrage snipes another. Meteor locked up, and the damage there to follow, but Meteor dodges the skill shots, and Light trying to get away from the Pillar of Flame himself. Weibo pretty chunked. I don't know if they can find an objective.
They do manage to get the 2 kills. However, they do not have enough healthy bars to take that Rift Trail, which is what they went to the top side of the map for initially. Xiaohu is going to take that side lane tower. Again, Xiaohu, one of the best side lane mid laners ever in the LPL. He's played top, one of the best top players as well when he did play top as well. So he does know a lot about what side lane pressure is made of. And all the covers and whatnot. Crisp and Tarzan again putting that pressure onto the Dragon. They're 2v3 and about to be 4v3. 4v2, sorry. So they're not going to take the chance. That is another Dragon going LGD's way.
Nicely done by Xiaohu to deny a lot of minions on that top side. Managed to deny, I think it was like a wave and a half there that was underneath the tower. Really, really nice stuff to just hold on there. Let's take another look as the Solar Flare.
Ooh. Just about in the middle of the 2 carries right there of LGD and Breathe. Breathe is covering the exit route. He's literally playing under enemy tier 1 mid lane to try and stop any exits from LGD. Nice snap right there from Light as well. And that's all she wrote. You see that the brand slowly but surely starts putting out the damage. Just that Leandris did quite a bit. So if Weibo Gaming managed to pretty much group up and Meteor gets a massive ult, this could very easily turn around. However, 6,000 gold in the lead right now for Weibo Gaming. It's not going to get any easier.
Solar Flare comes out from Crisp as Haichao forced away by the equalizer. Okay, Blast Code saves Haichao's life. Breathe, unfortunately, wastes his flash there. We'll be able to clear this vision. Herald comes down in the mid lane. That'll be mid-prio. Drake not up for another 3.5 minutes, by the way. This is, I know we're in the bottom river. This is not about Drake. This is about towers right now for Weibo.
Oof, and Shaoye going static sheave, first item there. It's not gonna be doing that much damage, man. So a lot of the burden for damage meters falls onto Meteor and Haichao. Shaoye is just there to pretty much clear a lot of these waves and try to create some engages for his team with the arrow, an arrow that is currently down, and every single time the arrow is down, Weibo Gaming are playing so aggressively and up in LGD's face. like they've been doing this entire game. Again, very nice side wave pressure as well. Breathe on the top side, Xiaohu on the bot. Haichao's gonna catch that one, and mid lane tower down means that Weibo Gaming can advance further forward in terms of vision.
It does feel a little bit like with this composition with an Ashe and a Nautilus on it and so much follow-up damage available, you'd love to see LGD being the ones actually starting some of these plays, and they have so much follow-up to try and find a pick. But the thing is, Weibo have been, really proactive and starting plays themselves, so it's not like LGD can just hunt. But also, they're so willing to fight this game that even if you go for an arrow, even if you look for a pick, Weibo are there and they are ready to scrap. Like, and in the context of a 5v5 or a 3v3, the arrow becomes much less efficient than just trying to find a pick individually.
Talking about a pick individually, Burdol in no man's land. He doesn't have a tower behind him, and Tarzan's right there.
He's got no armor, really. He's only got that chain vest. He went for MR to start this game off. The all-out comes on through. He's still Cassante at the end of the day. Flashes and crisp flashes to follow it up as well, but he might have gone too deep for this one. Meteor is on the scene. The arrow will connect, and that sets up for a pick for LGD. But Tarzan's not done with the fight just yet. Still going forwards as the equalizer goes down. Doesn't really lead to too much more.
That was continuously Weibo Gaming being in numbers disadvantage, but yet pushing.
Oh, they're going for Xiaohu, I think.
Every single time. They're gonna check out Shaoye. They're looking for Xiaohu. Tarzan.
Tarzan's just like, I'm so tanky. He's happy to dive on into that one. Light! He just eradicates them! That was insane! Light, you beast! Just takes Xiaoye out of the picture and then snowballs the fight. Quadra for Light in one of the flashiest Ezreal plays I've seen this year.
He absolutely obliterated Shaoye. Level 13 versus level 11, 6, 0, and 5. You bet he's gonna have 3 items the second he gets back to base. Bloodthirster just completed 4.6k gold in the lead. And that first blood that went into his hands has absolutely skyrocketed out of control. 6,000 gold lead right now for Weibo Gaming. What a play.
I want to see the replay right now. I'm not interested in anything else.
We can't get enough.
I just want to see that replay. Like, that was absolutely beautiful. And it was the fact that it was basically 3 Qs that killed Shaoye as well. Let's take another look, as we are going to get a pro view as well.
All right, the E through the wall, Q auto.
Oh, it's blind.
Q
it was
gone.
blind.
Q auto, Q gone. That was it.
Fantastic stuff.
0 reaction as well. Cold-blooded.
I mean, that's just beautiful. That is just beautiful. We came in today saying Light and Crisp are players to watch. I didn't realize they were this level of players to watch. You know, this is he's almost 5,000 gold up individually at 23 minutes into the game.
You know what? It's almost as if one of them is a world champ. Almost.
Yeah. Burdol is going to find it all out onto Tarzan. Has managed to get the pig lady into a awkward position, and that will be pork for dinner for Haichao as one little bonus for the side of LGD. Can it lead to anything? 30 seconds with the jungler down. The problem is there's no control of the map. I'm not sure LGD will find anything off of it.
I love that from Burdol right there. Finding that pick alleviates a little bit of the pressure off the map. I feel like the constant pressure into Meteor's jungle has not allowed for this brand to pretty much farm to his heart's desires. This is what you need, extra items onto that brand to be able to melt Weibo when they move together forward as a unit into LGD. So alleviating a little bit of the pressure, taking one man off of the map for Weibo Gaming makes it a little bit easier to pressure out those lanes, get some vision inside your own jungle, and try to advance those waves a little bit further forward than the halfway line, which LGD have not seen very much of. Could this be the halfway line? Like in football?
It's ever
the
so
river,
slightly.
maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. As, you know, they start the fight on him, but Burdol having none of it.
Absolutely, they commit the TP as well. Kill goes to Corki. Great stuff right there. You definitely need a little bit of an injection in gold. 0 and 2 for Haichao, just about 1 and 2 that right there. And Burdol, he's looking for more. He's right behind Breed that could definitely pull this off.
Breathe a step too far forward. Burdol, can he find 2 picks back to back to try and get his team back into the game? Breathe has flashed to relative safety. The rest of his team is trying to move on over. A good equalizer maybe could turn this fight. It's a good arrow onto Crisp to stop the follow-up from Weibo, but Breathe has survived. And ultimates fly across the side of LGD. There's nowhere to retreat with an equalizer behind them. And Light has arrived to finish these kills off. There's another one as the double comes on through. Light with a pillar of flame. He's burning, but still surviving. And he's got a bloodthirster. He's so hard to kill. Chasing for a little bit more, but the queue ever so slightly short. Weibo have very much seen the light.
Yeah, Light coming towards the top side of the map. They lose no one, and they're gonna be starting the Baron right here. Meteor is around, does not have the flash, but being in that pit with a Brand plus Corki around could be a little bit dangerous. The Hawkshot is gonna spot them now doing the Baron's long gone.
Nice try from Haichao, a desperate Valkyrie rocket just to go for some vague attempt at a steal. You've got to do something right, but it does go down. Weibo, really nice play to find the fight. And this was LGD starting this, remember? This was LGD that looked for a pick onto Breed. This is what we were talking about before. Weibo are so happy to scrap with you if you give them a chance.
But I feel like this is the correct play. Burdol is looking to burn summoners. I feel like once they got the flash out of Breed, they should have backed off. This is definitely a target for your next fight to come, because you cannot compete with Light's wallet right now. He's 6,000 gold up, and it shows. The second he enters this fight, you see half of LGD started backing off. That brand damage starts hurting slowly but surely. They just need to make sure they create enough time for that brand to get to his 3 items, to start shredding through that front line from Weibo Gaming.
Light is on 4 items. He's got Sherildas as well at this point. 6,500 gold up. It's blowing my mind quite how far ahead he is.
Oh, Burdol try number 3.
Yeah, here we go. Another deep TP, another flank. This time, though, he's spotted on a ward, and suddenly everyone on Weibo starts making a beeline towards him. They want to pick instead. Burdol out-positioned and tries to get away, but locked up by the ultimate of Tarzan. Oh, 4-man true shot barrage and an equalizer on top. Shaoye barely surviving as Light now on a flank. It's a double kill for Tarzan, but Light won't let him have any more than that. No, he will. A triple for Tarzan as Light grabs a 4-man ultimate and an undoubted MVP in game number 1.
Such a dominating performance by Weibo Gaming. Light ending the game with an 8,000 gold lead over his counterpart. Insane performance by Weibo's AD carry.
You know, when physicists talk about the speed of light being the fastest thing you could ever do, I didn't realize they were talking about how fast the man can build a gold lead, because that was something else. Weibo, an unbelievable game. Well, look, we said we wanted to see them come in looking like a top team, and my God, have they. Fantastic performance in game number 1. Light especially, but Crisp as well. Just running the game. Crisp, Tarzan, Light, all 3 of them. Really, really fantastic performance. Breathe even in that top play, buying so much time, and then an amazing equalizer to deny this game. I mean, just a fantastic game from the whole Weibo roster. Can they do it twice in a row? Becomes the important question for this
As
team.
always.
It's always the question, isn't it? We're going to jump into a quick break, and then we'll find out.